Breaking news, Jason Van Dyke, that's the Chicago police officer who shot and killed a black teen, is out of jail tonight, posting bail. Lots of questions about this, including this one. Why did it take more than a year to charge him with murder? Kyung La is out front.
The night of October 20th, 2014, Chicago police respond to calls of an erratic man with a knife. 6 seconds after exiting a police car, Officer Jason Van Dyke fires, striking Laquan McDonald 16 times. But this is not the story officers tell that night. The police union spokesman gives the first police account. 17-year-old McDonald was shot once in the chest after lunging at police.
Going at one of the officers, at that point the officer defends himself.
An autopsy the following day shows of the 16 shots, 9 entered McDonald's back. Officer Van Dyke, the only cop who fired, goes on paid desk duty. Van Dyke has 20 complaints against him, 10 of them use of force complaints. But all this goes unreported as the public accepts the Chicago police explanation and the dash cam video is sealed. All this as Mayor Rahm Emanuel is in the middle of the most contentious Chicago mayoral race since the 1980s. He wins. 8 days later, he's there as the city council votes without any debate to award Laquan McDonald's family $5 million. The city pays the McDonald family even before the investigation is complete and even though the family had not filed a wrongful death lawsuit. Chicago Alderman Howard Brookings voted for the settlement and now says the council was misled.
I think that there was a cover-up, and I think that people were looking out for their own skin.
Mayor Emanuel and the prosecutor, Cook County State's Attorney Anita Alvarez, battled for months to keep the dash cam video under wraps. They lose when a judge orders the release of the video. Just hours before the video release, the prosecutor charges Officer Van Dyke with first-degree murder, a full 13 months after the shooting. The prosecutor says she'd intended to charge the cop for months, but moved up her decision because of the timing of the video release.
I felt compelled, in the interest of public safety, to announce these state charges today.
How ludicrous is that? Clear she was trying to jump the shark, get ahead of the release. It does make me angry that people who are charged with the public trust in protecting the people and dishing out equal justice under the law are playing petty politics with the issue that is so serious.
Now, that alderman is among a growing chorus of voices urging that the police superintendent step down, as well as the Cook County State's Attorney. As far as the mayor, Mayor Rahm Emanuel, well, Aaron, he says he has got to take him on his word for now and that he has been honest with the public. Aaron?
All right, Kyung La, thank you very much. And I want to go straight now to Paul Callan, our legal analyst and a former prosecutor and criminal defense attorney, along with Alderman Roderick Sawyer. He also serves as chairman of the City Council Black Caucus in Chicago. Alderman Sawyer, let me start with you. You just heard Kyung, 13 months after this happened. That's what it took for the charges to happen. And of course, they were announced on the same day that the video actually came out. The video was only released because a reporter had filed a Freedom of Information Act request and demanded its release. Do you think there's a cover-up?
I certainly believe there was some sort of cover-up in this instance. It took them 396 days before filing charges when they had videotape evidence of a man executing a child. I don't think it takes that long for felony review to review those charges and bring back a murder indictment against that officer. I think there is a cover-up there, certainly.
Paul, I mean, it sure sounds like there could be. I mean, you know, you're looking at all of this video. When I haven't really heard anybody, including people who usually try to come to the defense of cops, who has come to this guy's defense in terms of this case. Why would it take 13 months?
I mean, it's really very, very hard to understand why it would, because if you look at the tape, it's a clear excessive use of force, or so it would appear. But here's what's going on in Chicago at the time. The mayor is running for re-election, and there's been a runoff election, and the mayor didn't get elected. They had to do another election. He finally gets elected. The Baltimore riots had occurred. Ferguson was in the rearview mirror. So I'm just wondering if there was this sense in Chicago that we've got to be slow, we've got to make sure we've got this right before we indict. Now, it's wrong to do that. They should have moved more quickly, but that's the only explanation.
But you're saying it's shy of trying to get him off.
Yes, I don't. As a matter of fact, I was looking at the stats. This is the first police officer charged with first-degree murder in Chicago in 35 years. So this is a big deal.
Now, let me ask you, Alderman, about the video, because there's this report, of course, the manager of the Burger King that was next to where this happened said that police came in after the shooting and the video of the entire shooting was gone. So the implication, of course, being that they erased it. The dash cam video has no audio on it. Is that anything that you think is suspicious that would lead you to a cover-up or no, given that the video obviously is damning in and of itself?
The amalgamation of all these things are all troubling. The fact that there was a tape at Burger King that could have clarified some things, and all of a sudden 86 minutes are missing. A dash cam video that's supposed to have audio and video, somehow the audio comes up missing in some portions. In some tapes, you can hear the shots. So I'm confused as to how these things could have occurred in perfectly functioning equipment. There was no details of any malfunctions of this equipment. These things should have occurred. There are more officers that need to be charged in this incident, not just the officer that shot the shots, but the ones that provided the additional cover-up for this officer also need to be investigated and at the minimum fired from their jobs.
And just following on the Alderman's statements, I'd like to hear from the FBI on this. Law enforcement authorities in Chicago have said they were delayed because of the FBI's involvement. Anita Alvarez, the state's attorney, said that. We've heard statements that the FBI looked at those Burger King tapes and said that there was no tampering with the tapes. Why haven't we heard from the Department of Justice and the FBI on this if they were involved in the investigation?
So you think there could have been tampering. Do you agree with the Alderman that then other police officers should be charged?
I don't. Certainly, if anybody tampered with those Burger King tapes, that's a crime, and a crime relating to a murder investigation, very, very serious crime. But why haven't we heard from the Department of Justice and the FBI if they were involved in the investigation?
And Alderman, what do you make of the fact that the police officer is out tonight, out on bail?
I watched that on TV before I came down here. I was sick to my stomach to watch him walk out of there after he posted bond today. There was no way that gentleman should have walked out of jail today. He executed a child. I can't say that over and enough times. He executed a child on video. He should not be leaving jail, ever.
All right. Thank you both very much.
Thank you.
Now, up front next.
I'm the leading state sponsor of terrorism.